One of the most frequent questions we get at NTH is about our pricing. We tend to be a little bit higher than a lot of other boutique brands, and people question why, if we're offering the same specs, the same components, the same water resistance, and it's all being manufactured overseas, why are we charging more? So the reality is that a lot of that is true for a lot of boutique brands. It used to be true for NTH, but the reality is that we're actually doing a lot of post-production work here right now. When everything comes to us from our vendors, the quality control standards are pretty good, but we like to actually enforce a higher standard for quality overall and also accuracy. So we're actually doing more and more work here, both production work as well as post-production work. So why don't you come on in? I want to show you my Watchmaker shop. Watchmaker Dan, this is his shop. What you have over here is a lot of parts in our inventory. We've got, this is bezel inserts right here. I don't know if you can see that. We've also got some cases. This is a Devil Ray case. Up here we've got, looks like some Antilles cases here. So people say, well, that's just your spare parts. In many cases, it is just our spare parts, but we also have enough parts here that we could actually do some assembly, and we're starting to do more of that. Over here, we've got dials, some spring bars, we've got some movements here, we've got handsets. Down here, we've got NTH subs bracelets. There's a pretty good supply of NTH subs cases. I want to show you that these are not pre-assembled. There's no crown there, there's no bezel insert, there's no movement spacer, no dial, no handsets, no movement, just a basic case back and bezel assembly waiting on an insert. So, those are there so that we can do assembly when needed, or also replace a case if we need to. Down here we've got bracelets, more bracelets here. I talked about regulation. The 9015 is pretty accurate right out of the box, and they come to us from our vendor even more accurate, but we've actually decided that we're going to regulate all of them to 1/2 of the manufacturer's accuracy spec. So up here we've got a number of 9015s that are waiting on regulation. So those were ones that we've pulled out for not meeting our standards. Dan's going to regulate those and make sure they're top notch. Over here is Dan. Dan, what are you doing?
Taking the case back off of Barracuda Black to change out the case, defective case.
All right, so we had a defective case on one of our watches. We're replacing that case. Obviously, after he replaces the case, we'll want to make sure that the water resistance hasn't been compromised. So we've got a pressure tester here. We splurged on that. We got the higher water resistance pressure tester. Down here, we've got a sonic cleaner. This is not Dan's marmalade collection or his moonshine. This is actually all of the fluids that go into the ultrasonic cleaner. In the background, you may be able to make out there's a time grapher that Dan will use to regulate all the movements. And then Dan's sitting there doing some work. Dan, in any given release, what percentage of watches would you say we have to pull out either to do some sort of a quality control fix of a defect or regulate to a higher accuracy standard?
About 7%. Between 5 to 10%, average around 7.
All right, so usually depending on the release, between 5 and 10% we'll pull out to fix either a regulation issue or quality control. We'll fix a defect in a part, or we'll just make sure that something is better aligned. That's how it works. So when people talk about micro brands, they're all just one-man shows, and they're outsourcing all their manufacturing. They're not doing real watchmaking work, and it's just getting everything in and sending it right back out to the customer. At least in the case of NTH, hopefully you can see that that's not true. We actually are doing real watchmaking work here. We have a real watchmaker. This is a real watchmaking shop. And this is one of the reasons why I think NTH is hopefully, justifiably charging a little bit more than many of our peers, because we do have this capability and we do offer this support post-sale and also pre-sale. We're doing all this work post-production. So hopefully that makes sense and it was informative. Thanks for taking a look at the video.